Good evening and welcome to the iGrow Network Inner Circle webinar. My name is Ron Pope. I'm the CEO and co-founder of the iGrow Network. And if you're not familiar with the iGrow Network, what we are, guys, is we're a social media marketing company. We focus on ways to help you guys tap into the social media arena and drive traffic back to any business that you're trying to build, especially your iGrow Network business. We also are the exclusive marketing arm for the Leafit social network, which is the first social network that shares revenue back with its users when the content you post generates an e-commerce sale. Now this evening I'm not going to go into the full presentation about the iGrow network. We're going to cover other stuff tonight here about the company, and really I want to impact on you guys why we chose this industry to start with, though. Because when you're looking at starting up a business and going into a certain industry, you need to make sure that you have plenty of traffic, that you have plenty of consumers that will be looking at your product. And that's exactly what's been offered to us here through the social media arena. And if you look at the chart here in front of you, I mean, we're looking at a few well-known companies: Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter, Google+, and Facebook. And look at the amount of traffic. This is daily traffic. These are users that go through their social network each and every day. Facebook has over 1.23 billion. Okay, Google Plus started just 3 years ago, has over 540 million users. So with that type of growth that quickly, that was one of the things that we were looking for. And I think you can see that hands down, this is definitely a good industry to be involved in. Lots of traffic for your business. Now, if we want to look at the content that's being posted every day, because again, with the Leafit social network, you snap a picture, you tag a product, okay, and then you post it to the social network. So it all starts with snapping that picture. Well, look at the amount of pictures that are being posted online every single day right now as it is. Down here, you got Pinterest at the lower side of the chart, 20 million pictures each and every day. And then over here at the other side, you got Facebook with over 350 million pictures. There's another one that just passed them, Snapchat, with over 400 million pictures a day. So with that amount of content being posted, it also brought viability to the idea that the Leafit CEO, Lawrence Sal, had, was to be able to create this social network. Started off with people posting pictures and tagging content. I mean, it all came together when we did our research. Excuse me. Let's look at some projections. Is this going to continue to happen, or is this a phenomenon that's just taken place in the last few years and it's done? Well, it's actually not. In 2014, we're right around 2 billion users, and then it continues to go up and up and up here through 2017 and beyond. It's not just all of a sudden going to plummet off the side. So this is an ever-increasing industry. Every single day, there's literally millions and millions of new users coming on board. What does it equate to in way of e-commerce revenue? Because again, when you snap the picture, what are you doing? You're tagging a product to it that creates an e-commerce sale. So wouldn't you like to know how much online shopping is really happening right now? Well, right now it's about $1.5 trillion a year. Okay, in 2017, it's projected to go almost another $1 trillion as it continues to head up to almost $2.5 trillion a year by 2017. Again, it's not going to just plummet off. It's going to continue to go and go and go, which gives you the opportunity to plant your feet, build yourself a real business, and create a legacy for your family. So what we've done here through the iGrow Network is we've brought multiple different markets together. Again, allowing you to tap into the social networking arena with over 2 billion users and increasing rapidly. Online advertising at over $135 billion a year. That's up 17 billion just since 2012. Why is that so important? Well, first off, when the Leafit social network gets to a certain point, they're going to introduce advertising into it, which you guys will be able to share in that revenue. But on top of that, you want to watch where the market trends are heading. You want to see what other major companies are doing. Well, when you see $135 billion a year being spent in online advertising, that's because these large advertising companies are looking and going, well, that's where the traffic is. Okay, so they're trying to get in front of that. That's exactly what we're giving you guys the opportunity to do, is get in front of that paradigm shift where people are going online to buy their products. Then we have the affiliate and direct sales. This is the network marketing side of it. Excuse me, $167 billion a year industry right there, and increasing. Look at that, it went up $2 billion in just the last 12 months. So very significant. You add all of these up along with our e-commerce at 1.5 trillion, that's over a $1.8 trillion opportunity per year that you have the opportunity to tap into. You only need a small fraction of that to really create a legacy and change your life. Now we've got certain leaders out there that are doing an exceptional job with building their teams and getting the word out, and so every week we like to bring one of those individuals to this webinar and allow them to speak with you and let you know what it is that they're doing. What do they see in the iGrow network? What do they see with the Leafit social network that got them excited to begin with? What do they see today with their business, and where do they see it heading? Okay, and one of the things that you're going to notice is that a lot of times they have systems down. And so I always like to say, amateurs recruit, professionals sort. Which one are you? So if you're looking for a system that you can duplicate, it's typically going to start off with sorting through your list. Make sure that you're finding the individuals who would be interested in your opportunity and then working with them as leaders. The first individual I want to bring out, actually we have one speaker with us tonight, my apologies, but the individual I want to introduce you guys to, he's been on our Inner Circle calls before. He's part of our Associate Advisory Board. His name is Martin Regan. And Martin is an exceptional individual. I get the opportunity to work with him almost on a daily basis now. He started, as you can see at the top of the page, he started up April 25th with us. He's personally invited 20 associates, over 395 personal referrals between associates and affiliates. So he knows how to get that message out there. And at the same time, look at this, his team's over 4,301 people. Guys, that means he's created the duplication within his team as well. Martin, are you with me? You might be muted.
Yeah, can you hear me, Ron?
There, I've got you. Yes. Martin, I just want to step back. I'm dealing with a little bit of a cold here tonight, so I'm going to let you take the floor for a few minutes here and just talk to everybody on the webinar and share with them the message that you brought here tonight.
Okay, thank you very much, Ron. Can you hear me loud and clear, everyone?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Well, it's a great pleasure to be invited back to speak on the Inner webinar. It's one of those occasions where you get excited, a little bit nervous, and because you're sharing to everyone information that could impact on their lives. So I'd like to say thank you for inviting me back, Ron, and for that great introduction. Now, first of all, I'd like to ask everyone to think about something that has been mentioned a lot of times on the webinars, and it's what's your why? Now, I don't actually mention my why here, but I like to make it very obvious in everything I do and everything you see about me everywhere. You'll see a picture of me. Now, I'm obviously fairly important to myself, but the most important people in my life are my two daughters. And that is my reason why. That's the reason I get up in the morning. That's the reason I do everything. It's because I want to make sure that they have the best that I can provide. And of course, the rest of my family is very important to me. I come from a very large family where we're very close, and we've stood by each other through all the good times and a lot of all the bad times. Everyone goes through through situations in their lives, and if you've got a close family, it really helps if you get the support from them. Now, as you can see, I'm not a spring chicken. I'm approaching 50 years of age, and the reason that my why is so big is because I want to make sure, as I said, that my two youngest here, Hannah and Haley, H&H I call them, don't go through all the struggles that I've gone through in my life. Now, some people say, when I give the sort of a history of my life, that I haven't had struggles, but everyone has struggles, and it's all dependent on your situation. And my family stood by me through all of those, and that is why my family is so important. Now, all of you have your reasons why. If you want to put them in the chat box, whether it's your family, a reason to improve your situation, get a better car, it could be to just get a new pair of boots, but you all have a reason why that you're on the webinar tonight, listening and gaining a bit of knowledge from the expert Ron, who's an absolutely phenomenal host on all of these webinars. Now, why did I choose the iGrow network out of all the things I've been involved with in my life on April the 25th? That's probably a question that a lot of you would like to know. I've been involved in many things in my life. I've had my own businesses. I set up my own restaurant from scratch. I've been employed by very large organizations. I've had jobs in many, many different countries. And many years ago, I decided that going self-employed was the route for me. And I didn't know about the word residual income then. And I went with what I knew. I trained as a chef, and I worked my way up through the ranks, and I got many jobs in responsible positions. Far too many to go over on here. As I say, I'm going to be 50 in exactly a month's time, on December the 14th, if you want to send me a birthday card. No surprise parties though, please. So I've been around a bit. I've learned some stuff while working with all of these companies. And as I said, I went self-employed, and I didn't know about the word residual income. And then I did find out about the word residual income, and that is how I came into this industry. Now, again, along that route, there's been 8 or 9 years while I've been in not dabbling, but involved in the industry, and I've been fairly successful in that. And I've also got other things that I'm involved with, and it was with one of those that I came across Leafit, and I just looked at the information that was available in April, and I just put together what Ron has explained at the beginning here, the amount of people in social networks, where e-commerce has been going for the last decade, and it just hit a massive light bulb in my head, and it just went off. It was more than a light bulb. It was like a rocket going up into a firework, going up into the sky and exploding and just illuminating my whole world, because I could see that the combination of the two was going to be massive. So that is why I got involved. And at that point, there wasn't as much as there is now. Now, all of the stuff that has been added since I've joined just blows me out the water every day. Every day there's more resources, more information, and more people getting interested in the amazing product and support that is available. Now, I've taken all of that information, and how do you get it across to the world? I'm sitting here in the UK. It's not very nice weather at the moment, a bit wet, but I'm right down on the far left-hand east, is it east or west of the country? Sorry, I don't even know where I live. And it's a little town called Perranporth, and with the technology available, it's so easy to reach the world if you use the resources available. Now, the easiest thing I've found is that all I do is share it with people, and there's numerous ways of doing that. Obviously, you share it with friends and family. You then utilize your social media knowledge and connections. Now, when I first started in April, if you had a look at my social networks, you would have gone, oh my God, he doesn't really know what he's doing. I think I had 67 friends on Facebook. I think I had 2 followers on Google+. And I wasn't even connected to some of the other social networks, and I did have a Twitter account, but again, I didn't really know what to do with it. At that point, I didn't even know really what I was meant to put on there. It was, I just shared the usual pictures of my Sunday dinner every now and again, and that was it. But being with the iGrow network, they've brought on tools that I've been able to utilize and use that to share this opportunity with loads and loads of people. One of the things that has been one of the greatest assets for me is the iGrow University. As I say, I wasn't in any way active really on social media, and one of the things that I have learned the most from the university is the YouTube section. I've got a channel now. I've got people that subscribe. I'm able to put information together. I've even started putting together little messages when I'm taking my kids places. So it's just a case of simply sharing through any means available that you have. And that's it. You don't have to, it's not a high pressure sales. You're not sitting in an office ringing people and saying, would you like to buy this? It's just a case of pointing your finger, if you like, at the information provided by the iGrow network, whether that's the lead capture pages in the back office, whether it's videos and recorded webinars. You don't have to actually produce it all yourself. You just have to make use of that and send it out to the connections as you grow your social networks. And that is easily done if you spend a little bit of time making use of the iGrow University modules that you have available to you. So that's how I've been able to get my message across to people, and then let them know, and then them duplicating the same and sharing it in the same ways. So it's very important that you do a little bit of study and then put into practice what you've learned there. So the resources in your back office, I've never known anything like it, to be quite honest, and I've seen those resources, as I say, grow on a daily basis to make your life easier. Now, I've always had a motto from way back many years ago when I used to run a club. At the age of 20, I was fortunate enough to take the plunge and apply for a job that was way, way, way above my station, and they gave it to me. And basically, I was lucky enough with that to have a mentor who taught me a few tricks. And those tricks were really just writing down every day what you needed to do. And then I've learned since then that if you do that the day before you actually want to do it, so if you've got a list of stuff like tonight ready for tomorrow, you don't have to start tomorrow thinking, what have I got to do today? You've already gone to bed, your mind is automatically going over those thoughts in your sleep, and you wake up and your list is there. Now, I know a lot of you have what I call a day job, and you've got to fit everything around those. And that, in my opinion, is even more important if you actually put those thoughts down the day before. Then obviously you've got to go to your day job, but your mind is processing without you thinking of it all the things that you're going to be doing when the day job has finished its commitments. So how many of you have actually got a day job? Put in your chat box, tell me what you're doing. Is it a plumber? Is it an electrician? Is it an architect? Is it an accountant? Share with us what your day job is. And you need to obviously make sure those commitments are covered, but you're on here because you've got a reason why. It could be that you want to get rid of the day job. It could be that you want to add to the income from that day job, but you have a reason why. And that is so important to keep reminding yourself of what is your reason for being involved, and to make sure that you engage for that reason why. There's no point actually thinking, yeah, I'm going to get involved with this, and then not actually doing anything and waiting for it to come to you. Because I've learned in life that, you know, I want a really nice fancy car, but it's not going to drive up to my driveway and say, here you are, here's the keys. You've got to actually engage with your reason why and how you're going to get it, and then start implementing the resources you have at your disposal to make that become a reality. Because there's a great saying that I've heard many, many times, that as human beings, we have a facility that no other animal on the planet has, and that is that we can see, without it actually physically being there, what we want or what we want to build. Take, for example, a house. Now, a architect has actually visualized that in his head. He has then drawn it, and so he can see the end product before he's even laid the first brick or got someone else to lay the first brick. And that's what we all have the ability to do. We can all visualize what we want, and then we can use the tools at our disposal to make that become a reality. So make sure that you have your reason why, and then you make use of the resources available to actually make that become a reality. Now, I'd like to share with you a little story about when I was in what I call the work world, and it's not because I want to brag or say, oh, look what I've done in my past. It was just a situation I happened to be in, and I was lucky enough to be involved in it. Now, I mentioned earlier that I trained as a chef, and I worked my way up through the ranks, and any of you that have been involved in the chef world know that as you get higher and higher, you actually get further and further away from the stove, as they say. And I ended up being what's called a chef manager, an area manager, and then at some points in my career, I was never near a kitchen. I was an area manager for a hotel chain. And yes, I did the training for all the head chefs within the company, but my real day job with them was actually looking after the running of all the hotels in my area. But before that, I was involved in a company in the UK, and they looked after various units all over the place. And some of the units were, you probably won't recognise these, but it was the DTI in London, Knightsbridge, Crown Court, and some very prestigious places. And I was very lucky to get promoted into a position where I was like a roaming area manager. So wherever there was a problem, and then I got a phone call and they said to me, "We've got this new place down in Wales, and it's the Welsh National Museum, and they're refurbishing it. We've got the restaurant in the cellars, and just to add a little spice to it, they said on the same day that the restaurant opens, the Queen is coming, and she's going to be opening the whole new museum, and we will be providing the catering for them." So initially I said, "Oh, that sounds very exciting." So I went down for the family accommodation, and about 30 minutes actually into being there, I realised that, oh my God, what have I let myself in for? I was told that the previous person in charge had left unexpectedly due to stress because of the arrangements and the security involved in the whole of this operation. And, you know, it kind of worried me. But I bit my tongue and pulled up my britches and got down to it. Now, a week before the actual event was going to happen, I decided that to bring in the 7 Ps. I've heard about the 7 Ps. Prior preparation prevents piss poor performance, and I lived by those by that saying for a while, and I still do on a regular basis. And the prior preparation that I decided to put into place on this was to actually run through the seating arrangements and how it was going to look. So a week before, when everyone thought they'd finished work, I'd get everyone together. We had the tables delivered, we had all the place settings done up, we had people pretending to be the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh and the various dignities, and then we did a run-through on a nightly basis on how the service was going to go, etc., etc. Now, every night, there was a real niggling doubt in my head. There was something wrong and I couldn't work it out, and every night I found something that was wrong. That certain types of shoes squeaked on the floor because it was a wooden parquet flooring, so we made sure that everyone didn't wear shoes that squeaked. There was routes to tables. You know, every night we found something, but there was still something nagging me, like really worrying me about the whole service. And it wasn't till the actual day before the event was to go off, it suddenly hit me. We had people pretending to be the Queen and etc. And I then said to somebody, can you find out how tall the Queen is? I don't know why it came into my head, but maybe it was because I was looking to make sure that it was perfect. And then somebody Googled it, I think, and found out how tall the Queen was. And this is going to sound silly to everyone, but I found someone who was exactly the same height as the Queen. Now, I'd like to show you a picture here of what happened. But when we found someone that was the same height as the Queen, and we got that person to sit down, it just struck me what was niggling me. The tables were the wrong height. When the Queen sat down, or had done at the tables that we had, she would have looked like a 6-year-old with her head popping over the top of the table, because the Queen's not very tall. And if it wasn't for the prior preparation, I could have embarrassed myself, I could have embarrassed my company, I could have embarrassed everyone involved. And it was just the prior preparation that made it go off smoothly and without probably the biggest blunder of my life by humiliating one of the most famous people in our country. Now, so all we did was we changed the height of that table to make her look more regal, shall we say, as she should do. Now, as I say, the reason I did that is because I wanted to get it right, but it didn't stop me from starting in the first place. I didn't wait until the last night and put everything into action. We put everything into action weeks before and just practiced it. And whether it was practicing it on ourselves, we did an actual live run-through at one point as well with actual people who worked in the museum. So we practiced it, but we got started. We actually started honing our skills, and that's what I urge everyone to do. Don't wait until you've learnt the speeches. Don't wait until you've learned every bit of information. Get out there today as soon as you can and start sharing with people. You will learn things as you do it. You will say, oh, tomorrow I'm going to add this in. Tomorrow I better add this in because I forgot that. But the more you practice, the more you share, the more you do stuff, whatever avenue you're doing, you will hone your skills and you will get better. And then you'll be able to pass that on to your team. And then they will be able to pass it on to their team. So that is a very important factor, I think, is actually getting there and doing it. Don't wait for tomorrow, because tomorrow never comes. It's one of them words that is so easy to, yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. But as I say, tomorrow does never come. So don't wait for the last minute to get started. Now, there could be people that are on here that have just popped in to see what we're all about and get some feel for the company and what they should be doing. There's probably a lot of you that have been around quite a while and are doing exceptionally well in yourselves. Now, there's a great saying as well that that I love to use. That is by just happens to be by another Brit, Richard Branson. I don't know if any of you have heard of him. The guy who runs Virgin. And one of his great quotes, I can't say for sure that it is one of his quotes, but it's all over the internet in one of those little motivational sayings that people put up on their statuses. And it's if someone offers you an opportunity and you're not sure, well, if someone offers you an amazing opportunity and you're not sure if you can do it, say yes, then learn how to do it later. Because if you can see that it's a great opportunity, but, oh, have I got this, have I got that? Don't worry about it, especially this opportunity, because all of that is provided for you. Just say yes and learn how to do it later. Now, all of those things that I just mentioned of going into action, the company has done the most incredible job of making sure that everyone has those facilities available. Now, I've never seen a back office with the amount of information. I've been involved in this industry, as I say, for a while, and nearly everything in the back office I've either had to do myself, purchase from other companies to be able to do what I'm doing with the company I was involved with to do it. Here, it's all there for you. It's just a matter of just taking a little bit of time, using the iGrow University, using the lead capture pages, using the webinars. Now, the webinars are just so inspirational in the fact that you've got 4 great webinars Monday through to Thursday on different topics. You've got webinars on the presentation. You've got webinars on how the actual Leafit app works. You've got webinars practically, I don't think there's an hour throughout the day that you can't actually find information to send to your people that you've said, hey, look at this opportunity to. Now, also, there's great support from all the people in the company. There's group information. Now, if you've been recruited, I've never seen so many groups dedicated to the team that you'll be involved in, and they'll invite you to the group, and they'll be putting information in there, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on Google Plus, whether it's by emails that they send you personally. Now, out of all of this, I personally think that the biggest resource right now is the Blitz webinars, and it's not because I present some of them, it's because all that you have to do in a conversation with everyone is direct them there, and then all the information that you're learning or want to impart to people is imparted to people there. And so making use of the Blitz webinars is just a no-brainer. You've got to actually direct people there and keep directing people there, because they're the one resource that is just going to do everything for you. Now, I'd like to say thank you to firstly Lawrence and Mike Green for coming up with this idea, Ron for his dedication every day on everything that he does, and Steve and all the people in the office there. I'd like to thank all the AAB members for their inspiration and, just sharing great ideas. And they keep me continually inspired, because it's one of those professions, if you like. It can get quite lonely because you don't have an office to have the old coffee in the morning and chat about this and that. But if you engage with all the various things going on, you have your daily inspiration, and that's what keeps me inspired. And I urge you to keep yourself inspired. When you sit down to start do stuff, put on in the background one of the recorded webinars, just gently going away there. It will make it feel as if you're in a work environment, because you can hear people that you're involved with and doing the same thing. So that is my daily motivation. And obviously, my biggest reason why is my family, and also is seeing everyone that I've shared that with growing on a daily basis, and seeing them engage and seeing them share. Now, believe it or not, we all have a fear. What if people don't listen? What if I can't do this? Now, this might sound strange, but one of my biggest fears is doing what I'm actually doing now, speaking to loads of people, having them listen to me, and in your mind, you're making a judgment. But I've had to get over that fear, because if I don't engage, if I don't share, if I don't step up and put what I feel across, then nobody will know I exist. And if nobody knows I exist, then I won't be sharing. So I need to get over that fear. And you will have your fears as well. You might not want to talk to people, but you just have to take that little bit of courage and start sharing and start using the tools available to grow your business. Now, again, I'd like to say thank you very much for Ron for letting me talk for so long. I hope that I've shared some information that's useful to people, and I wish you all great success, because the success is there to be had with this company. Because just take a look at the products, let the light bulb go off, get engaged, and share. I'd like to hand it back to you, Ron. Thank you very much for letting me speak tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you, Martin. And you had a lot of great points there, my friend. The my why, I mean, that's so important, Matter of fact, your prospects, if they don't have a reason why, they probably wouldn't even listen to, this opportunity to begin with. So you got to help your folks find out, why are they here? Why are they looking at this? Exactly like Martin went over. And then, Martin, I also love the fact that, I always talk about take action. Even if you make a mess, you can come back and clean it up later, but just take action. Do something right now. So loved your message tonight, Martin. So thank you so much for coming out and speaking with us. Now, guys, I'm going to run through this. We have another webinar coming up here in about 20 minutes, Blitz webinar tonight. So I'm going to run through a few things with you guys, and I'm going to highlight some stuff for you. If you go in your back office, you'll see when you first log in, the 4-step duplication guide. You can also click the download button and get a copy to your computer. But what I want to point out about this here, guys, is this is broken down. Mike Green and myself, we've worked a lot on this, and then obviously Steve Hyman put all this together so that you guys could utilize it. Took the ideas and put it onto this nice looking, layout here. But step one is really, it's simple, guys. We want to take all the obstacles out of your way. Okay, so and what we were looking for was a duplicatable process that you could sit down with a prospect in a matter of 10-15 minutes and have them completely engaged in the business and already moving, having prospects calling them. That's what we wanted to put together, and that's what we've done here. Okay, during the testing of this, Mike Green sent it out to 13 people. 12 of them responded and got reactivated. And or some of them were actually new prospects as well that got started. So it's a very effective process, but so simple. Anybody can do that. Look at this right here. Send out a pre-written text message to all your contacts with your lead capture page link. Okay, you can text it out, and here's the text right here. So you put their name. Let's say, John, you got to check this out. We do this right, we could be free in less than 3 months. Watch this 2-minute video, then call me right back. Okay? So did you call him? No. Did you come out of your comfort zone? No. All you did is send a text over. Or you could choose this one over here. John, you got to check this out. This is exactly what we've been searching for all these years. Watch this 2-minute video and call me right back. And then you put your link in there. It's simple to do. You guys could use this for an email. You could use it for Skype, for Facebook. Just get it out there. And as I say right here, the more exposure you give your business, the more responses you're going to get. So this system, just so you know, is not set up where you have to pick up the phone and make outbound phone calls. If you do that, you might get more responses, okay? But this is all about getting people to call you. Step 2, look at this. Get them a Blitz webinar. Get them on a Blitz webinar right now. Well, if you read the first line, it says, to those that respond back, okay? So you sent the text. They call you. Then what are you doing? Well, if they called you, you're talking to them. You're showing them how excited you are, and you're getting them onto a Blitz webinar. And then how are you going to get them on there? You're going to do this. You're going to send them another text. Okay? Send this one first. John, you got to get on the next Blitz webinar. Here's the link. Okay? You send him that registration link right there, and he can go in and register for the next Blitz webinar coming up. If you want to get more specific, choose a specific webinar for him and send him one link. Don't even send him to the page for registration. And then what does it say, guys? It says, call me back right after the webinar, right? And then assume that he may be wanting to watch this webinar from his smartphone. So you send a second one a few minutes before the webinar, so like 10 minutes before. Hey, by the way, if you're going to view this webinar from your smartphone, download the mobile app first. Here's the link. So what did you do? You gave him everything that he needed. Now, so far, is there anything here that you don't think you could do or a prospect could do? You're just sending out text or emails to your contact list. I mean, it's so stupid simple, right? Let's go on to step 3 here. Get them signed up as an associate. So when they call you back, okay, so after they watched the Blitz webinar and they called you back, okay, but now I did put this here because if you're getting excited at this point and you don't want to wait for them to call you back, let them know at the time that you gave them the webinar link that you'll call them after the webinar so you can hear their excitement. So you can go either way there. You could literally send out the text, send out another text, and wait for them to call you. Okay? Then you get them signed up, and what do? You get them to go right through the same steps that you just took. It's that simple, guys. It's not rocket science. It's a duplicatable system anybody can do. Now, I want to go through a quick income disclosure here because I'm going to show you guys something. I think a lot of you guys, when you go through the webinars, you go through the Blitz webinars and things, and you get to the end, and you see all the things I'm about to show you, but it doesn't come together for you. Okay? And you go, well, what exactly could I make there? So in this income disclosure, I just want you to know there's no guarantees. It's all going to be based on your efforts. Okay? There's no guarantees from the company, but you put some effort out there, this could be your reality. First off, you guys have seen this. I know you have. This is the 9th generation unilevel. Okay? Affiliate earns a $17 commission if one of the people they refer in becomes an associate. Okay? You get one sale as an associate. You get 3 generations deep, $17, $2, and $2. 3 personal sales. Okay? You opened up 6 levels. Get 5 personal sales, and it qualifies you for all 9 generations of the unilevel. All right? Pretty simple. We're not going to spend a lot of time on that. I'm going to burn through this because I want to get to my point here. 3x9 force matrix. Okay, we've all seen this too, right? You get one personally referred sale, and it opens you up 3 generations. Okay, so I'm sure you guys have heard get 3 who get 3. So so far you've only gotten ones right here, and then they fill up their levels for you. Now you got your 3 right here. Okay. And look at this back over here just for a second. This is one personally referred. Okay, if your top 3 levels fill in, you've only put one person in. You've already made profit right here. $49 a month on your second level. That's 3 with 3. You make $51. You're not having to worry about that monthly paycheck or that monthly membership anymore. Okay, are you going to go anywhere? No. Is your prospects going to go anywhere if you can help them get their monthly membership covered? Absolutely not. They're going to stick around, see what this is all about. So your first goal should be, you just got to help them cover that monthly first. Okay? You get 5. That's the magic number here. You get 5. It opens up all 9 levels of your matrix. Now, I want to point something out here, though. See that 120,309? That's your maximum on a 3x9 matrix that you can make monthly. Now, we've done something, though, that's going to blow that wide open. Look at this here in front of you. I want to introduce you guys to the 3x9 expandable matrix. Okay, now on December 10th, okay, anyone who's not made a payment within 30 days of their last renewal date will be dynamically compressing them from the matrix. Okay, this doesn't mean they're getting kicked out of the company. They're just going to be removed from the iGrow network matrix. Okay, and they'll permanently lose their matrix downline. But this is important for you guys because of the fact that dead spots in your matrix hurt you. All right, if you have a bunch of dead spots underneath you, that's taking up spots where you could have somebody actively building, and it's pushing your people further away from you, which means you're earning on less levels. Okay, so anytime you have a matrix, you have to have a dynamic compression. But we've done it in a way that it sets us apart from anybody else in this industry. I mean, it's incredible. Look at this. So this one right here, let's assume that this gentleman here on December 10th did not renew their spot. What's going to happen? They're going to be dynamically compressed out. Okay. Typically on a 3x9, it means you could only have 3 on your first level, correct? Well, we've changed those rules. We've rewritten the stars here. Look at this. When this guy comes out, we're going to assume he had his 3. Okay. All 3 of those are going to slide up. Now your first level, you have 5 people. You no longer have a 3x9. You have a 5x9. All right. Well, kind of. It's a hybrid. It's expandable. So you'd have 5 right here. But now these 3, each one, let's assume they each had their 3. That's 9 underneath there. Those 9 slide up to your second level. So you have 15 on that second level now. Do you see what just happened? You went 5, now 15. These right here, which would typically be 27, also slide up. So that entire organization underneath this gentleman slid up to expand your matrix and blow it wide open. You see what just happened? Let me give you a real simple example. Let's say your first 3 right here fell out, but they each had their 3. That means your front line would be 9, and instead of having a maximum income potential on a matrix of 120,000 a month, you'd have you'd have 360,000 a month. Do you see the income potential and why doing an expandable dynamic compression is so important to your guys' business? Now, if these people that fall out, okay, if they come back in, they're going to come in at the bottom of the matrix. So they did lose their matrix, okay, but they did not lose their personals, their check match, or their e-commerce commissions. Okay, once we do this on December 10th, we're going to continually do this the first Friday of every single month, so your matrix could get wider and wider and wider. One day you guys could have a matrix with an income potential of over $1 million a month. I mean, we have literally blown the doors off of this, and as I like to say, the sky is no longer the limit with this. Now, here's another thing you guys have seen, the nine generation e-commerce sales, right? Affiliates can make 10% on their own personal sales. We know associates, 10, and then you got 5s all the way through your 7th generation, and you got 10 on your 8th and 9th. But I'm going to show you guys something here in a second. It's called the IG3K. And matter of fact, we're looking at renaming that to the Founders 3000 to have a little bit more of an impact. So people look at that and go, wow, I want to be a founder. I want to be in that first 3,000. Okay? But look at this. IG3K Club, it's going to double your commissions on all of your e-commerce sales. I mean, that's incredible. What do you have to do to get into that? Well, first off, there's only 3,000 spots available. It may sound like a lot, but we've got teams coming on right now that are talking about putting 5,000, 10,000 people in the next 30 to 45 days. They'll take up those spots. So you should be hard charging right now to get into that. What do you got to do? You got to have your own iGrow Network Associates membership. Keep it current. And then you get 3 other people to do the same thing. That's it, guys. It's literally a race to get in there. If you ever fall out of qualification, you'll have 30 days before we pass your spot on to somebody else. But yours and 3 others stay inactive, and you're in the IG3K. And I already talked to you about the benefit of doubling up the e-commerce, but you're also going to get an equal share of the VIP pool, and that's viral installs. There's a show, Enterprises Television, with Terry Bradshaw that's going to be airing. Matter of fact, I believe tomorrow we have the final cut on that, and we'll get the air dates for all of it. Okay, that's going to air to tens of millions of homes nationwide. When that happens, people are going to find their way into the iTunes store, download the app. Corporate doesn't keep those people, so what do? We assign them back out to the IG3K. Do you see what's happening there? So it really starts to fill up. Now I want to show you guys something here. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. This is something that Mike Green had put together for us, and he was one of the large leaders out in the field, and was also one of the founders of the company here. Let me see if I can Get this pulled back up. Oh my goodness. Hang on one second here, guys. Well, where did it go? My apologies. Okay, bear with me here. I had it a second ago. I had this all planned out and it worked well before the webinar. One second here. I really want to show this to you too. There it is. Got it. Now I just got to get the webinar turned on here again. 1 second. All right. Okay, so hopefully you guys are seeing this with me. What I want to show you here, guys, is it kind of brings that entire compensation plan together for you. Okay, so let's assume that you had your 3, or you met all qualifications and you got 5 people. All right, not real exciting. Okay, you're picking up a few dollars a month, but then you help these 5 each get their 3. Okay, because what do you want to do? You want to get as many people into the IG3K as you can, right? So you help your 5 each get their 3, so you got more people in the IG3K. So that way, when the viral installs take off, I think the number Mike likes to use is 1 million viral installs. Not real difficult to do when you're out to hundreds of millions of people. You get 1 million viral installs. Well, guys, let's assume that there's only 200 qualified people with their 3. Okay, that means that you'd have 5,000 of these installs or these affiliates that have been assigned to you. Okay, and let's say that you only had a 2% conversion rate. That means out of your 5,000 that you just got, okay, that assigned to you from the being in the IG3K, 100 of those would actually end up in your matrix. Now you only brought on 5 people and helped them get their 3. Are you seeing what's happening over here? Now watch this. So out of that, you had 100 in your matrix. 6 of them qualified for the IG3K. That's a total in your matrix of 620 people. Now, let's go right here, and let's say that this duplicated down just 2 generations. Okay, and you've got 10 friends that each have 10 friends. Let's take this a step further here. I want to show you, if you duplicated through your group, so you got 5 and helped them get 3, each one of these, they just help their people send out their text messages, and they also got their 3. Look what starts to happen right here. Okay, your income really starts to go up, and I mean you can plug in whatever numbers. This is going to be in your back office for you guys to play with. Okay, but what I want to say is, how many of you have only 10 friends on your social network? Probably not very many of you. Okay, most of you have hundreds of people. So what if you had 100 people that each has 100 people? Look what just happened to those e-commerce sales. It really starts to climb. I don't want to go really, into this, but Mike and I have ran through this, and I mean, it does not take very many people, guys, for you to really start making some serious e-commerce commissions at the same time you're making your unilevel and your monthly matrix. Okay, you got to add all those income streams together. I mean, look at this simple example right here. Get 5, help them get 3, help those get 3, and maybe they each got 2, and you got a few viral installs over here. You're already at $13,000 a month. I mean, I could stop right there, and who on this webinar would not want to make $13,000 a month? So that was something I wanted to show you guys. This is going to be in your back office. I've got the programmers working on it, but we're going to put at least the Excel spreadsheet version of it in there tomorrow for you. So that was something I really wanted you guys to see tonight, because I think what happens is, again, you guys, you see the numbers, okay? You see us going through the PowerPoints, but when it comes to the end, you're sitting there going, okay, but what does that equate to? What exactly can I make? And your prospects are thinking the same thing. So we give proper income disclosure, the fact that there's no guarantees of any of this. It does take some effort on your guys' part, but who couldn't just send out some text messages and help their people send out some text messages, okay? And watch what happens. It literally duplicates overnight. Now, the last thing I want to leave you guys with is being at the right place, the right time with the right company. It's so crucial. It's so critical that you guys take advantage of the opportunity that you have right now. iGrow Network, as well as the Leafit social network, we're in a pre-launch. Okay, we're still putting all the pieces into place and perfecting and doing all that. We're not a mature company yet, which means we're in the initiation stage. What's so important about that? Well, it gives you timing and positioning. Okay, because 70% of all of the top income earners in this industry get started in the initiation stage. That's why we've got teams like the Philippines that are coming on. They got 100,000 people in the Philippines. What did they see here? They saw the fact that we're in the initiation stage. We've got the pieces put in place, and now they can jump in, put a bunch of people in right here. So that way, as it heads into the exponential growth stage, which is where you go out and you say, "Hey, have you ever heard of this company?" Today, a lot of people say, "No, I've never heard of it." Okay, we got a couple thousand people in the company is all we really have for associates. But 6 months from now, when we got 50,000, 100,000 people, you go out and say, "Hey, have you heard of the company?" "Yeah, I've heard of that. I'm already in." Okay? You're in that exponential growth phase, and you missed the opportunity because you didn't build in the initiation stage. Can you make money in the exponential growth stage? Absolutely, you can. A ton of money. But the top income earners get started today. They do what Martin was talking about. They just take action. They get started, and then they fix their mess later on. And then when you hit the equilibrium stage, it's up to you. Okay, this is where the company has hit just critical mass. It's growing massively, and you could put your business on cruise control if you put the work in now. Okay, you could take the ride with us. We're going to get there, and we would love it if each and every one of you guys plugged in today and didn't get left behind. That's where we're at with this business, guys. And we've got lots of presenters that are doing this. Martin talked about the Blitz webinar. Okay, there's Martin Regan right there. He does a lot of our webinars. You got Glenn, Coach Kathy, Mike Green, Will Cormany, Justin Halliday, Elise. I mean, these are all some of our top producers, as well as highly trained presenters that can do all the telling and selling for you guys. Let me show you the schedule. Okay, you can find this by going to your website, clicking on webinars, and you'll see right at the top of the webinars page, the registration pages,